Right, so today we're playing Ranger, and Ranger is a solitaire game about patrolling operations released by Omega Games way back in 1984. And it's been updated several times. It's a solitaire game, and the game really revolves around um, patrolling operations in a third world country. The game originally came out in the early 80s, so um, the setting is basically kind of US allies in Central America need American help, and the Rangers come in, and you have control over a platoon, and you have to conduct operations in this country. In this situation, this is situation briefing 2. The U.S. is helping out an ally of theirs called the Republic of Puerto Ono, and it's being invaded by a neighboring socialist country, Costa Verde, and it's struggling to beat them back. Another problem that Puerto Ono has is it has leftist insurgents as well, so we've got to deal with that issue too. Anyway, this is the start of a mission. And what happens is at the beginning of the mission, you get a mission card. And there are hundreds of missions, probably. This card is you have to send a squad to conduct a recon of a suspected enemy petroleum site. And in this case, we have to go over to this map over here and take a look. And the site is located right here where it says objective. Our Ranger patrol team is to be inserted by a Black Hawk helicopter into a clearing located right here. So the insertion happens at 2000. I've got to take my team up here, and you can see the my route, my intended route, with the with all the rallying points lined up towards the objective. The dotted lines are the alternate route. You have to plan that out as well. And after we recon the POL site, we have to get back and establish a base of patrol down here. So this is really kind of a tough mission. A lot of things could go wrong. We've got the insertion, we've got to get the objective correctly, and then we've got to get the heck out of there and move south and quickly establish a base of patrol right in the heart of enemy territory, which is not going to be easy. 500 meters south of the objective here is our objective rallying point, and this is sort of where we set up the mission and divide the squad into teams who are going to do special things at the objective. I've got a little map here to show you what's going to happen here, if you can see that. Basically, our objective is right here. We've got a left flank security over here, right flank security over here, and behind that is a rear security team. This is the machine gunner and an assistant gunner. I believe each of these guys has an M203 grenade launcher, and there's another guy with an M4 there. The recon element is actually 5 guys, maybe a little too big. 2 of those guys will be the surveillance team. And once you kind of figure out what you're going to do at the objective, then you have to go and equip your men. So I'll just move, I'll just move this over here. So again, we're not taking the whole platoon, we're just taking a squad. And you can see I've set my squad's equipment down here. You have to be careful, because if you give your guys too much equipment, they move slower, and that can create problems on its own. Especially if you start getting pursued by the enemy. I mean, you're deep in enemy territory here, and you've got to sort of operate on your own. There isn't a lot of help out there. There are airstrikes you can call in if you're lucky, but if you're engaged in close quarters, they're no good. Basically, the way I've organized my platoon is I've got 1, 2, 3, 9. I've got 11, or sorry, squad is I've got 11 guys here, and Boris I've got as my patrol leader, and then I have Brooks as my assistant patrol leader. Kruger and Boone are my down here are my assistant or my machine gunners and my assistant gunner right there. I've got Baris carrying the optics for a javelin, just to help with recon. He's also got night vision. Again, this is the 80s, so only one guy here has night vision. I guess I could give them all night vision, but you know, whatever. I've also got a radio man here, Carney. Right here, he's got a radio, and one of my guys on the surveillance team has a digital camera and binoculars, so that should help. One guy has a rope down here, that's Deddy. I probably could have given them actually more equipment, but the problem is that if one of your guys gets killed or hurt, everyone else has to carry his equipment, and you don't want to slow down your guys. You want to keep them moving. Right now, everyone is rated F for fast, so hopefully they'll be able to get to their objective quickly and quickly get out of there and establish a base of patrol. They've got to do this by 8 o'clock in the morning on day 2, which isn't a lot of time. And you can always run into a lot of problems along the way that you never expected. So anyways, basically we've been through the briefing part with these 11 guys, and I had to roll to find out what we could do for rehearsals. We had enough time to rehearse 5 things. One was actions at the objective, actions on enemy contact, insertion, movement techniques, and actions at a patrol base. That's not a lot, but that basically covers the essentials of what these guys are going to be doing. Right now the situation is we've been through the briefing, which we got at 10:30 this morning. Got through equipping, talking to the guys, going over their equipment checks, and now it's the current time. You have to really keep track of time in this game. If you look up here, you've got a time log, and you've got to kind of scratch off every 15 minutes that goes by in the game. So we've got our briefing up here at 10:30, and now after doing all this stuff, it's finally dark at 7 o'clock, and the squad is about to go out to the insertion point by helicopter. So we'll see what happens. Okay, well, things didn't go really as planned. Here we are. We got inserted right here by UH-60 Blackhawk, and got to the clearing here at around 8 o'clock. Let me just zoom in here so you can kind of see what's going on here. So we got inserted here and then made a rally point just outside of this clearing. And then we started going up here, making our way north towards our objective. And it was really tough going, really heavy jungle, very, very slow. And around 8:45, what happened was we finally figured out that 4 of our guys were missing. They'd lost contact with the rest of the patrol. So we had to go all the way back to our rally point here at the clearing, and found 3 of the guys waiting there. We were missing 1 guy. So we went out to look for him, and it took us an hour to find him. And by that time it was 10 o'clock. So we're back here at our rally point. After 2 hours of our mission, we've made it almost nowhere, and time is pressing on us. I don't know if we're going to be able to fulfill the mission objective of establishing a base of patrol by tomorrow at 8 o'clock, but things are not going well so far, and the mission has only just barely begun. So hopefully, now that we've got everybody back, we can continue on here without too many problems. So, next part coming up soon. So we continued on from last time and moved all the way up to the objective. And on the way, not much happened. Progress is really slow. Of course, it's night, you're in the jungle. you're going maybe 250, at max 500 meters at a time every 15 minutes. A couple of things happened. We came across some abandoned enemy bunkers, and also heard some artillery firing, but thankfully that wasn't at us. We got up to the objective rally point and split up into security teams and elements. The leader did his recon with element leaders, and then the surveillance team came in, took pictures, made sketches of the petroleum tanks, and we were undetected there. They didn't know we were around. So we finished that up, our recon up, right at 6 a.m., just as the sun was starting to come up. So we got out of there as fast as we could, and I started to realize, even though we had daylight on our side, it didn't seem like there was any way to get from this objective down to our base of patrol by 8 o'clock in the morning. So what I decided to do was put my guys into a file, and traveling formation, there's a couple of different ways you can configure your guys. I usually use traveling overwatch because it's the safest way to go. If you get hit, it's usually not quite as bad. You can maneuver around. You're not going to get hit on the flanks because you've got flank and rear coverage. But shifting the guy, it's a lot slower to travel that way. So I shifted the guys around into file, and I was worried we'd get ambushed or something. And of course we did. So right around here, we ended up getting hit from behind, 100 meters behind only, by the enemy. There were 10 guys, one machine gun. Managed to kill off 2 guys, Schultz and Kruger. Schultz was carrying an M4, and Kruger was our machine gunner with the M240. And we had very little choice but to get the hell out of there. So we got out, and it's not my proudest moment, but we broke contact after expending a lot of ammunition and made our way down to the base of patrol. I changed configuration back to traveling overwatch after getting hit. I knew we weren't going to get to the base of patrol on time, and I'm not even sure, even if we had been traveling by file, if we had time for it or not. So it was probably just a bad decision. I did radio base just after reconning the objective. I did radio base and ask for a time extension, which was denied. So I was just trying to hustle my guys down there as fast as I could, and I was scared we were going to get hit, and we did. We did get hit pretty bad. So we got down to the base of patrol, established that at 10 a.m. So we were 2 hours late. And spent about 6 hours at the patrol base, and ready to go out on another mission. There's only 9 guys now, whereas there used to be 11. My final score here was 56 points. I got 100 points for reconning the objective successfully. Lost 14 points for leaving 2 rangers on the map. Lost another 10 points. Not sure exactly why, but I lost a bunch of points for leaving ammunition and stuff. Also for being late, establishing the base of patrol. And the final score came out to 56 points, which is a marginal success for the mission. So it's not great. I'm not proud of leaving those 2 guys behind, but if we had engaged, I think it would have been much worse. The problem came right at the start of the mission, when I lost one of the guys down here near the clearing, and it was a real question is, do I spend the extra time looking for this lost guy and just leave him out there, or do I, and possibly face a failed mission, or do I just keep going without him? And the fact that the guy was part of the designated surveillance team, and I think he had He had some equipment on. He had the radio, so I really didn't want to leave him behind if I could. And I mean, I'm glad I spent the time getting him, but in the end, that's what cost us uh, the mission and two of our guys in the end. So, real tough decisions in this game. And you know, if I'd managed to, if I'd switched onto file here occasionally and moved up instead of doing traveling Overwatch the whole way, maybe I could have made it. I really don't know, but you know, it kind of comes down to a real moral dilemma versus military realities, which is what this game is about. You have to make a lot of interesting choices in this game, and sometimes there really is no right choice. You're just the roll of the die messes you up without any other options, and it's a good game. You know, everybody has their own play style for it, and it's not a difficult game. Basically, what happens is you go through the tactical events book, and this was written by a guy who was really in the Rangers. This game was created by it, and it does give you a flavor for what it might be like patrolling out in enemy territory and hoping to just get through another day and come back with all your guys alive. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see what happens next time in Ranger.